Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are headed up north to take on Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns at 3:25 Central on Fox. The Cowboys are trying to shake off a gut-wrenching loss in the wildcard round to the Packers. The Browns, on the other hand, are coming off a magical Joe Flacco run to the playoffs. Both teams have their eyes set on the postseason heading into Week 1. Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, a star-studded game to kick off the season. This is the Cowboys versus Browns Week 1 preview. My score prediction will be at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that. Let's get into it. What other way to start this video than in the trenches, particularly the Cowboys offensive line versus the Browns defensive line? And one name is going to consistently pop up for the Cowboys, both in the meeting room and in the media: Myles Garrett. Behind only Micah Parsons, Garrett had the second highest pass rush win rate in the NFL last year, winning 30% of his reps. Myles Garrett could make or break the Cowboys' plans early in this game. Garrett usually rushes off the left side of the defense, but I imagine that the Browns coaching staff is going to want to test the Dallas line across the board. In particular, their tackles in Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele. And those two guys are going to have to play well. We know that Terrence Steele has struggled mightily at times. I'm sure many of you remember the Philadelphia Eagles game where he had a rough time. But another offseason removed from that ACL, you hope that he's capable of slowing down these Browns edges. It's not every day that your offense is going to have to face a pass rusher of this caliber, other than Micah Parsons in practice. And it's not just in the passing game that Garrett dominates. In 2023, he ranked 7th in run-stop win rate. And I think the Browns are going to move him around and try and find mismatches on either side of the line, whether that's going against Guyton or Steele. They're gonna try both in the first few drives of the game. But I also suspect that the Cowboys do things to help their tackles with chip blocks, double teams, whatever they need to do to keep Dak clean. Put an extra tight end over there. As annoying as Garrett is gonna be in this game, it isn't just the edges that you have to contain on this Browns defense. Rookie guard Cooper Beebe has a really tough draw on the interior against Dalvin Tomlinson. Although Tomlinson isn't as much of a pass rushing threat, he is a run stuffer, and an elite run stuffer at that. Last year, he ranked 2nd in the NFL for defensive tackle run-stop win rate, winning 43% of his reps despite being double-teamed on 39% of those snaps. I do feel better with BB in there, although he is a rookie, over somebody like BY because of the size, the strength, the ability to move people around. That's a tough matchup to start your NFL career. And the Cowboys have to find ways to run the ball on the interior and hold up the front of that pocket against pressure. You really need Tyler Guyton, Terrence Steele, and Cooper Beebe, 2 of those 3 guys being rookies, to play well. It's a lot to ask, but it's also very important to what the Cowboys are going to try to do offensively. So on to the next matchup. I had wide receiver 1 and 2 versus cornerback 1 and 2. CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks versus Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome. The Cowboys have one of the best wide receivers in the league, the reason that CeeDee Lamb got paid $34 million per year. Paired with him is a still speedy Brandon Cooks on the outside, but this is no easy pull for either of those receivers. Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome are 2 really good cover corners, but the good news is this matchup actually favors the Cowboys offense, and most notably CeeDee Lamb. In 2023, Cleveland ran man coverage the 9th most in the NFL. In his career, Lamb has averaged 3.21 yards per route run against man coverage, the 2nd most in the league. Cleveland likes to run man coverage. They like to get in your face, bully your receivers, make it really hard to make tight window throws, and they do a good job at it. With so much focus likely being on Lamb, Cooks has the chance to have a really nice game and a really nice start to 2024 against Cleveland. Our final matchup to watch, the Cleveland run game versus the Dallas run defense. The Browns are without Nick Chubb going into Sunday, but that doesn't mean that they won't rely on their run game to start the year. Much like Dallas, a stable of backs is what they're going to try to rely on until Nick Chubb comes back later this season. But it doesn't make this matchup any less valuable. The Cowboys defense has to stop the run early and force the Cleveland offense into 3rd and long situations. They cannot afford to give the Browns a chance to get things going in the run game, which is exactly what they're going to try to do even without Nick Chubb. That is their game. And last year, the Browns ran the ball the 4th most in the NFL. And even with Deshaun Watson back in the fold, they're still going to try to go out there and run the ball down your throat, control the pace of the game, and keep the Dallas offense off the field. The Dallas front 7 is going to have to prove early in this game that they can hold up against this Browns rushing attack. If they can do that, they're going to force Deshaun Watson, who I don't think is very good, to consistently pick up 3rd downs. Quarterback that hasn't played in nearly a year, consistently having to pick up 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. You have a lot better chance of stopping that than letting the Browns never get to 3rd down, or they're looking at 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 the entirety of the game. I know I'm like a lot of other people talking Cowboys content right now. I don't think Deshaun Watson can beat you if the run game stalls for Cleveland. Really quick, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BetUS. They have huge bonuses, great odds, and fast payouts. Plus, new customers get a 125% sign-up bonus on their first 3 deposits. Deposit $20, get $25 more to play with. The link to sign up is in the description of today's video. Now, let's go over our 3 keys to victory. Key number 1, an effective run game. Rico, Zeke, Deuce Vaughn, whoever it is, help this offense stay on schedule. It's not going to be easy to grind out those yards against this Cleveland front, but Dallas cannot have an outing where the run game gives them less than 3 yards per carry. If that happens and it completely sputters, it's going to put way too much pressure on this passing game to perform on money downs. And with the way that this Cleveland defense is built, it might just be too much to overcome. Key number 2, slow down the Browns run game. It feels like an every week thing for this Cowboys team since like 2020. I expect the linebacker play to be good with Kendricks and Overshown. The big question is, how can the new additions at defensive tackle play? Against an offensive line like the Browns, a team that wants to run the ball like they do, you cannot afford to give up 5 or 6 yards a pop. They'll grind out the clock and you'll be playing right into their plan. Limit the run game, limit the big runs, and make Deshaun Watson consistently beat you from 3rd and long. Honestly, that feels like the biggest key. Make Deshaun Watson beat you. And then finally, mistake-free football. On either side of the ball, limit the penalties, limit the negative plays. It's been a talking point ever since Mike McCarthy got here. Cannot go out, have 8 to 10 penalties in this game, and expect to beat this Browns team who is probably going to be a playoff contender. Stay on schedule, limit the holding calls. You can't put yourself at 1st and 20, 2nd and 15. It's going to be impossible to consistently dig yourself out of these holes. So play mistake-free football, keep the penalties to a minimum, and don't give the Browns any extra help on either side of the ball. Now it's time, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the bold predictions. And I can't lie, this game makes me nervous, mainly because it's the first game of the year, but also the Browns defense is a tough outing, especially for an offense that didn't have their number 1 receiver for the entirety of training camp, and with a running back room that we don't really know what to expect. The Browns have the ability to play really tough defense. They have a solid defensive line, really good cover corners, and good linebacker play. Cleveland has a recipe to beat Dallas in week 1. If they can't stop the run, and if you can't get any help from your run game, it could get ugly for the Cowboys. For Dallas, though, there's a recipe for them to win this game as well. Jump on Cleveland early, force them out of running the ball, and make them play catch up. It really wears on a team like the Browns if this turns into a track meet and they have to put up points in a hurry. It's the reason that this team had so many blowout wins last year, is if you get up 7, 10, 14 points early, the Browns with Deshaun Watson are not really built to compete like that. So 2 very different philosophies, 2 different teams on how they want to win games. Let's get to the score prediction. For me, 2017, Cowboys get the win. But in my honest opinion, it's a complete toss-up. On the books, it's a pick'em game. You can't really say either way on which team is going to win. Plus, It's week 1. We don't even know what either of these teams are gonna be in 2024. We can just kind of project what we think. But here are some predictions from your fellow Cowboys fans. 23-20 Cleveland, 34-24 Dallas, 24-17 Dallas, and 37-20 Dallas Cowboys. Let me know your guys' score predictions down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.